Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? Your girl G here. Welcome back to my channel. Appreciate you for tuning in. We're gonna talk about Real Housewives of New Jersey. Now, y'all, I'm a person who's versed in New Jersey. I have seen this from the beginning. If y'all are new to New Jersey, there has been a lot more people getting, more hip to New Jersey. But I've been on it. A lot of these, I'm actually kind of the one few black people I feel like who's versed on like the White Housewives. I find entertainment in watching the white women, get into each other. It is just something about like the white woman drama is just fascinating to me. But nonetheless, nonetheless, Real Housewives of New Jersey, if you're new to it, everybody's backstory. Everybody has been off of Teresa for a minute. Dolores really is that bitch. Jennifer, she came on and made a splash in the wrong way. Margaret, she came on, was with the like everybody loves Margaret. She's gonna start some shit though, okay? But start some shit in like the good messy way. Jacqueline low key, I fucks with Jacqueline because when she came on and started some mess. But there's a difference between coming on the show, starting some mess, and then starting some mess with validity, right? And Jacqueline started some mess with actual like valid points. The first season she came on, she approached Teresa talking about, well, I mean, don't you think if you had control of your husband that you wouldn't be in jail, you wouldn't have gone to jail? And everybody was like, because nobody really talks to Teresa like that. So for this new girl, this new bitch to come on and immediately get in Teresa's ass of like, well, don't you think if you, according to what you think, like, had you been able to control the money, would you have gone to jail? And I mean, Teresa, she got a point. Because the truth is, had you been controlling the money, your ass would not have gone to jail. Okay, to jail. All right. Lost time with her family and everything. Got the damn husband deported and all. Jacqueline, she actually like, there's an example. Then the next season, she had Teresa stuck again, talking about, because Teresa was like, oh, I'm this type of person, I'm this type of person, I'm this type of person. And Jacqueline said, oh, did you learn that in jail? Everybody once again was like, and that's when I was like, there you go, Jacqueline, get in that ass. Like, it's something about Jacqueline when she get like, it's just, her timing is impeccable. It is impeccable. So Jacqueline, I fucks with her. But nonetheless, I like Jacqueline. Jennifer, I can't with Jennifer. I can't. And Margaret's gonna get in that ass because Jennifer started it, okay? Just beware that Jennifer, you started this mess that's getting ready to come on you. Now Margaret done blasted your ass about your husband having an affair at the end of the episode, but that's jumping ahead. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. If so, we are gonna start with what scene? Teresa and her daughters. So Teresa, her and her daughters ended up going outside and talking about basically everything going forward. They're moving in a house with boys. Like, G is used to sunbathing outside naked, and they can't do that no more. Like, they got men in the house. And so that's so crazy. Like, Teresa, you moving in hella fast. And I'm glad her daughter called it out, because she's like, we're just gonna move in with Louis. I'm so glad that you guys like him. And Gina's like, for all intents and purposes, Mom, like, this really is kind of fast. And she was like, what? We're getting ready to come up on our year. And it was like, she's like, yeah, Mom, that's fast. And it's like, she's not lying. Like, Teresa, you should not be moving in with no man anytime soon. But the problem is, Teresa's one of them, like, old school brides who, like, you find a man, lock it down. And even though we saw what locking a man down got her, that's her habit, unfortunately. And so Dolores, that's who's doing it right. But we're gonna get to Dolores. So Louis is a used car salesman. Margaret said it perfectly. He is a used car salesman. He just gives off like F-boy vibes. He gives off, predator vibes. he gives off sexual assault vibes. Like, he just, and the rumors came out about his ex-girlfriend saying that he was very, you know, abusive, verbally abusive, and things like that. So, I definitely don't like Louis. I just, and I think everybody else is kind of seeing like, something ain't right with this dude. So of course, moving in, I'm just glad Gia was able to call out, is able to notice her mom's kind of like, and change those habits, because Lord Jesus, change those habits, because Gia, she's 20 years old and, you know, in college, you know, starting her life. And she's not a girl always talking about, oh, I can't wait to get married, have kids. She's like, she's going to get her, I think, law degree, you know. So it is like, you know, she's taking the approach of like, I'm not going to settle for a man. Unfortunately for Teresa, you know, I think she got 3 or 4 daughters. So it's kind of like, it's like Melania, Adriana, Milani, and Gia. I think that's what it is. I think Melania is 3 or 4, but nonetheless, like, to see, you know, Gia take that place, maybe the daughters seeing their sister be like that will hopefully have a trickle effect. We're just gonna hope. But unfortunately, odds are, with the way, you know, unfortunately how, you know, odds work, one of the girls is going to be mentally effed up and have daddy issues. Well, I mean, they're all going to have daddy issues, just some more severe than others. But nonetheless, I'm glad Gia was able to call out the fact that, like, her mom's kind of moving fast. But then they start talking about Joe, her husband, and, I mean, not her husband, her brother, their uncle. Basically, they're into it because of the things that he said about their dad. And I'm sorry, girls, specifically Gia, Joe said some stuff that is true, and I think they're going to have to sit down and have a conversation, put emotions aside to explain their perspective. Gia, all she's coming from is the, you know, you're talking shit about my father, I don't like it. But Joe is not necessarily, wasn't saying anything in particular about like your dad. Oh, he was a piece of shit, he did this, and this. You know, he was more focusing on like the emotional effects of what, you know, happens. Like, your dad really fucked up, Gia. Like, he had your mom ended up arrested because of him. And your dad wasn't a faithful nigga anyways. You know, his little hot mic moment. I mean, let's speak of that moment, first of all. For anybody who's watched New Jersey or heard of New Jersey, y'all want to sit here and talk about Lisa Barlow's hot mic moment. This hot mic moment with Teresa and Joe, when he called her my bitch, see you next Tuesday wife on live mic, that's something different. And she defended it too. She defended it. It was sad. But yeah, that's just an example of how your daddy wasn't necessarily the greatest, you know, man. An example for you to really just, you know, follow up behind. So I think Joe has a right to feel the way he feels. When you see the flashbacks, he was saying like, you know, the man who got my sister arrested, the man who put my mom in an early grave, like, he was saying that from an emotional perspective. And I just wish like they would just be able to sit down, talk, and give each other's perspective. And I think that would eliminate a lot of what's going on with Gia and her uncle. And specifically, if she can fix it, then I know the daughters will at the same time too. Nonetheless, I just think, yeah, they are basically upset with him and need to talk with him. They haven't spoken to him in 6 months. So moving on, we have the scene with Jacqueline and Margaret. I love Marge. Jacqueline comes in. I fucks with Jacqueline too. Marge's style, y'all, although Marge's style is eclectic, you know, by some mean, it's eclectic in the most tacky right way. Like, Marge's style, I actually like. Like, I actually kind of like, it's unique. I don't know, just the word eclectic, but in like the tacky right way, if that makes sense. I don't know what it is about the way she puts the colors and patterns together. I don't know, I just like it. But nonetheless, her and Jacqueline, you know, catch up, me, yada yada. and they bring up this weird video that came out with Louis. Apparently he was like, you know, begging the men, you know, oh, please, or like, oh, telling this girl, like, forgive me, I'm sorry for this and that. It was like a man retreat or something like that. And I guess that's for, you know, men to go work on themselves. I meant to watch the video, but didn't get a chance to watch it. But nonetheless, of course, they bring that up. Do you think Teresa's going to talk about it at the pool party? And it's kind of like, you know, no, I don't think she's going to bring it up. Or do you think she should bring it up? And of course, Margaret's like, I mean, how can you not? Like, everybody's going to be talking about it. And I mean, we all know how this shit works. Somebody going to bring it up, and leave it to Margaret. She going to bring it up. And like Margaret, I like Margaret. It's just like she's messy in just the right way. And so, nonetheless, you know, Margaret ain't really feeling, you know, Louis, the used car salesman. So then they end up talking about, you know, Jennifer ending up, being, you know, around everybody for the first time because they got into it at the reunion, and they started a freaking back and forth Twitter war. So now, like, Melissa, Jackie, and Margaret are all on one team, and now Jennifer over there all to her lonesome. She's sitting here thinking Dolores and Teresa get ready to have her back, and them bitches left her out in the co-ed. Okay, they left her out in the co-ed. C-O-L-D, capital D, the co-ed. They left that bitch out there, and she said at the end of the episode, but we'll get to that part. But nothing. Nonetheless, she, damn, I just had I keep blanking. What happened with Jennifer? Damn, I just blanked. I don't know why, but Ashley Miller popped up in my mind. Now, I don't know if y'all watch her videos, but I be watching, and she like have these like random, she'll be like, dang, I just blacked out. And she like, you know, my bad, just took some, or, you know, just lit something. It's like, I just like, my brain, and that kind of low-key just happened to me. Shout out to Ashley Miller. Y'all go watch her videos. Funny. Dang, I just keep blanking. What am I talking about? Jennifer and the ladies, are not really, you know, cool. And really on Jennifer's behalf, she came in and started mess in the absolute wrong way. Of course, Margaret and Jackie are going to be thinking like, okay, how is it going to be, you know, to see her? Speaking of Melissa, one of the ladies, she goes out with her husband, to meet the new, I guess, addition, which is, I think her name was Tracy or Taylor. And her husband Tiki, you know, the white black, you know, man, the white black Don, you know, Lemon type. But not as cool as Don Lemon type. But nonetheless, no more broke D. Now on New Year's they was turned to look up. She's like, no more broke dick. He was like, what? If you have not seen that video on live for New Year's, Don Lemon was turned. He was like, he could not hear what a girl was saying, and they was all lit. He was like, she was like, no more penis attached to men with no money. And he was like, oh, did you say broke dick? And they just busted out laughing because, I mean, y'all kind of are on national TV. But yeah, Don Lemon, he cool. This Tiki looking type as like Carlton type, he don't look cool. So they get down, they sit, and they're talking about basically knowing each other, you know, knowing Teresa, being at the party, and you know, the weird relationship. Tiki asked Joe about, you know, the whole Louis situation. And, you know, at first, you know, Louis, you know, he was all on Louis. Oh, I think he's a great guy. But then after more and more, you know, rumors come forward about, you know, the women he dated. I mean, let's just call it thing-a-ling. Thing-a-thing. Let's just call it thing-a-thing. Louis definitely just gives off like predator vibes. Like he gives off sexual assault tease. He gives off just no. He just gives off all types of F boy. Yeah. So nonetheless, he ended up saying something that now has Teresa upset. And so they ended up talking about that later on in the episode. But now, the friend Tiki, of course, is like, well, she's at a place, like, she's not married, like, she can back out of it. And they can't because, they just bought a house. They can, but likely that she not. So they just bought a house together. So then they just ended up talking about that, and then ended up talking about, him having to talk to Teresa after their relationship kind of like, getting a little sideways in regards to Joe. The girl, she was like, well, I don't like to judge people, on account of rumors, because I myself was a part of rumors. Everybody, you can't believe everything about everybody. So the tea on her is, and they little mess, let me scoot up for they mess. He was divorced, or he left his baby mama or / wife, who was 8 weeks pregnant. He left her when she was 8 weeks pregnant, only to, as they, claim to started getting together 4 months later. She said, I wasn't even in the picture. I never knew, like, I didn't even come around. I didn't even know anything. I never met him until 5 months after, what went on with him and his wife. But yeah, so she wants to give us that story. I'm sorry. How often is that story really, really true? Oh, I didn't know anything. Like, I didn't know anything about, his wife. Like, bitch, y'all knew each other. You knew each other. Y'all just wasn't like, fucking yet. Y'all knew each other. Y'all might have seen each other around little conventions and little, newscaster, spots and stuff like that, because you said you were a new, newscaster at your station. He's a, caster at his station. I'm sure there was a convention or another that y'all was peeping each other from across the room and just was like, that could be an option one day. And then one day came. So yeah, nonetheless, she wants to give off, I'm not gonna, judge Louis by any means. I don't believe nothing. So yeah, we gonna see how this goes with them adding her. But as of right now, she doesn't give like really ready to jump into TV yet. She's still like a friend of like just bringing in. So yeah, after that, we gonna get into Dolores, baby. Dolores is my bitch. I love Dolores. Melissa a baddie too, but Dolores just gives off like what women really should be doing a lot more of. So basically the story is she was with her husband Frank. They ended up breaking up. He was, of course, was a cheater, pumpkin eater. Shout out to Giselle. He was a little cheater. They broke up. Now this man, he in construction. He basically take care of all her little construction shit. And she with a dude, David, and she not moving in with him. She's like, I'm not moving in with him until I get a ring. And it's perfect because here it is. She's supposed to be renovating her house. But, he was like, just move in with me. Just move in with me. And she was like, no. And she was like, I don't have a ring on my finger, so you not get me into your crib. And she's now renting her a nice little penthouse, a nice little, whatever, like rental home or rental condo. And it's doing it how you're supposed to be doing it. Ladies, stop playing. Stop playing house with these niggas. Stop playing house with these dudes. Period. Stop doing it. And Dolores is doing it the right way. And she bad. Y'all, Dolores already had a nice little body, but she just went and got a little, a little shape up, and bitch is bad. But nonetheless, she's calling Frank because she wants her house to be done because her kids are not out of school. And she was like, I want them to come home and, start their life, like rent free. Like, I want you to figure out, okay, the next step. And what her kids are doing, you can believe that, they'll do it. Because there are some kids who you be like, oh, come home and get started. And then they just end up living at your house. These are kids where it's like, they're coming back. He's in real estate. She's going to be a veterinarian. Like, it's like something, it's good. There should be more parents, willing to like show their kid the ropes of life. Cause that shit is hard. Okay. Life is fucking hard. Okay. You can imagine it's a lot harder, being a 19, 20-year-old and then trying to figure this shit out for the first time. But nonetheless, she has a really good relationship with her kids. Her son is handsome. He definitely gonna be a heartbreaker, real estate, all jacked up and swole like Frank Sr. is. He gonna be a ladies' man. But nonetheless, they called Frank and was like, yo, what's happening, bro? Like, the house ain't done. She of course she said was, are you alone? It's the are you alone? She did not like this new girl. She's a little bimbo, clearly Paris Hilton type, little broad. And clearly she's like, whatever, Frank, but I need you to get this shit done. Like, you got all these excuses, but pull up and get this shit done. Your kids is here now. We need to figure something out. So yeah, now we move on to Jennifer talking about her mom. We have this scene. Jennifer still got this damn, little nose strips on, like on the bridge of her nose. And so I think she was waiting for the pool party to do a reveal. And if they're up, okay, her nose is bad. It is wretched. It is debilitated. It is all of the above. But she was talking to her kids about getting her nose done. She's like, what do you think about mommy getting her nose done, you guys? Do you like mommy's new nose? And the son was kind of like, I never really noticed anything wrong in the first place. Like, he was definitely, everybody's walking around the fact that Jennifer, your nose is fucked up. Like, that's just really what it is. But she ends up talking to them about her mom and saying, her mom being, able to make it with her. Her and her mom got into it when basically Jennifer wasn't trying to hear what her mama was saying about living with her dad. Like, her mom was like, I hated your dad. And could you not imagine being a 16-year-old not only being 16 years old, but moving to another country and being with a 26-year-old? Think about that, Jennifer. I know you think about, like, that's my dad. I always remember having better time with him than my mom. Because your mama was fucking pissed off all the time dealing with your daddy, who really was a predator. At the end of the day. Yeah, so she and her mom kind of had a moment of, crying and, we're, just being sad because they hadn't talked in a while. And so, they kind of, I guess, made up. She wanted to see her nephew. They got her nose done by a dude from Instagram. What happened to Yellow Pages? What happened to Yellow Book? Like, I'm sorry, I'm trusting Yellow Pages and Yellow Book over Instagram reviews. I'm just sorry. Like, I'm still doing my research. I don't care what you post. I want Yellow Book reviews, Yellow Page reviews. As Erica didn't even say, I want Yelp reviews. But yeah, and that's what you should have done, because your nose stung. And I wonder if her husband said anything, like if he was honest, because he is a surgeon. Is he gonna be like, it ain't looking too good, But yeah, so she also is nervous about seeing the ladies at the pool party, but you did it to yourself. So we see a scene where Melissa was talking to Joe because it got out that he said like a little joke about Louis. I've never missed my, my brother-in-law more than now. And Teresa got pissed off. And what he said was not in malice. Like, what he said was just in trying to just say some shit you know, because he's caught on the moment about it. Like, I mean, I was like, what else was he supposed to say? Like, what else is he supposed to say? The husband's doing it right. The husband's doing it right on New Jersey. They going on tour because they actually have really good relationships. Like the house husbands of New Jersey, like they are the epitome of what like we want house husbands to be like. They party together, they have fun together. Like I love the husbands on New Jersey. But nonetheless, they're now doing this little tour, and he got, you know, asked questions about, you know, Louis, and Teresa's upset. So now he's thinking about not going to the party, but at the end of the day, he ended up going because Teresa called him and apologized and was like, no, please, I want you to come. What other scene was there? I'm trying to think if there was another scene before the pool party. No, I think that was it. Okay, so pool party. Yeah, the pool party. So of course everybody's showing up. Of course everybody's wondering, okay, is Louis gonna bring it up? Is Louis gonna bring up the video? Is Louis gonna bring up the video? Like, how can you not bring up the video? It's like, bitch, we're gonna have to talk about it. Of course, Teresa, she's gonna act like, no, nothing is wrong. Even Dolores, you know, talks about how Teresa likes to act like nothing's wrong with me. Like, there's nothing bad. Like, I live, my life is all good. Teresa is very, you know, versed in doing that, which is why she in this situation with her ex-husband. You talking about, oh, everything was good, but come to find out, he was having sex with a girl, and he called you, see you next Tuesday on national TV. Y'all always sit there and talk about hot mic moments. He called you and see you next Tuesday, and you know, it's yeah, you know, it's just like, yeah. But of course, everybody is going to, you know, talk about it. But nonetheless, of course, everybody's showing up. And everybody gets there before Jennifer. Jennifer is the last to arrive. Producers knew what they was doing. Let's have Jennifer come in last so we can show off this botched ass nose job. Like, it was tragic. It was tragic. The big reveal was awful. But yeah, so everybody is showing up. Dolores talks to Teresa, and she, of course, kind of brings up what Joe said at the Atlantic City thing because they were actually there. And Teresa's acting like nothing happened. Oh my God, nothing happened. It was so funny, right? So Dolores is kind of like, okay, if that's how you want to act. And so she's letting it slide, obviously. But of course, everybody else is not gonna let her do that, okay? So everybody shows up. We have Margaret. The ponytail was super cute. Margaret, Melissa, and Dolores are over there talking like, oh, are we gonna bring up the video? Of course you're gonna bring up the video. I'm not bringing up the video. Like, you know, do you think she's gonna talk about it? Like, why? Of course, you know, leave it to Margaret. Of course Louis gonna have to talk about it. You know, her accent. Of course he's gonna have to talk about it. And you know, she was like, I think she should just bring it up. And Dolores is like, no go, leave that alone. You know, don't do I'm back. Had to get a drink of water. But nonetheless, Margaret is somebody that, you know, you gotta tell, don't bring it up. But, you know, Dolores tried to give her the heads up. Of course, it's not happening with Margaret. Dolores is like, well, she told me she's fine. And Margaret was like, she lied. Melissa told me that's not what she said. Melissa told me that she said that she was mad at Joe. And, you know, she was upset at him. So Dolores is like, that bitch lied to me. Yes, she did. She did. Jennifer comes in. And everybody has this visceral look, like, all at each other reaction of, what the fuck did this bitch do to her nose? You see it, right? You see it? Am I tripping? That nose look like got a slope in it from the side. You know, look, you know, just over here, just right here, like, kind of look like a skateboard ramp. Like, am I tripping? And Jackie, oh my God, it looks so horrible. Like, everybody was like, don't just say it out loud like that. Like, oh my God, it looks so bad. These bitches like, I need to get a closer look. So, they ended up walking a little bit closer, but literally walking just straight by her. And so of course Jennifer's like, well, they just walked by me, Teresa. What am I supposed to do? Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, nobody's talking to me. And so Teresa pulls Jackie over first and was like, look, I need you to talk to her. Of course, she's like, I don't know what I did. Like, you're mad at me. And she's like, look, well, you're saying stuff about my friend. Like, you're talking about, Margaret, and some of the stuff you said was deplorable. You called her a snake. You said all of these things. Jennifer, like, of course, people are going to have a problem with that. And she's like, I'm just so sorry. I just don't like the way things are going. I listen to the truth is I really feel some type of way because, I'm walking in, it's just you three guys and it's just me over here. And, I see the way that you guys defend each other. And, Dolores and Teresa, they don't even defend me like that. Bingo, bitch. They don't. They don't. See, you thought the bitches was going to be, coming to your aid after you was over there defending Teresa. You thought, I'm going to come onto this show. I'm going to defend Teresa. She's going to bring me into her little, inside circle. And bitch, that's not what happened. Her and Dolores, a little less Dolores, but overall, them hoes left you out in the cold, okay? The cold. Out there freezing in the C-O capital L-D. The cold. So, yeah, no. Yeah, that's what you get, bitch. You did it to yourself. So Margaret actually ends up walking over and she's like, look, what is it? No, what is Jennifer? Because you said some things about me and you're sitting here wondering why I don't like you. You called me a snake. Well, everybody has skeletons in their closet. Some people have skeletons in their closet. And Margaret's like, yeah, they do. But the problem is you want to talk about everybody else's and not about yours. And she's like, what? I'm sorry that I'm such a truth teller. I'm just such a truth teller, Margaret. You can't handle out how honest I am, bitch. Your problem is you talk about everybody else's mess. That's the thing. When you come on this show, do it the right way. You can't come and only talk about other people and not your own. Right? And you upset that Margaret, I just want to be good with you, but you're not acknowledging that what you did was up in the first place. It was messed up in the first place. And so now, you done got yourself stuck and you stuck like Chuck. You up and up and up and it's stuck. And now you want to be mad. And you don't want to take ownership of how you ended up in that position. But nonetheless, Margaret is basically like, oh, everybody has skeletons in the closet. You don't want to talk about your own. She's like, you just want to come after my life. You're just mad. Bill does everything he can to take care of me. I have wonderful kids. I wake up and have beautiful things. And Margaret's like, that's your problem. It's not about money. Jennifer, it's not about money. And the fact that she always reverts back to talking about all the things that she has, that's how you know that bitch is miserable. And come to find out, at one point, she was absolutely miserable. You had all of these things. And you are stuck. And that's the first thing that you are bringing up to other people. Girl, you hurting on the inside. That's just the truth. And you always bring up, oh, I have this, and this, and this. And so Margaret was like, oh, really? But it's like, it's amazing. You want to talk about everybody else's, skeletons. But bitch, what about your own with your husband having an affair? And that's why he got fired from his last location. What? He got fired from his last location. What? And so she was like, yeah, he ended up having to leave because he was having sex with a nurse. And Jennifer goes, well, if you're gonna, it was a physician assistant if you want to get it correct. So if you don't have the details, at least get it right. And so obviously that's confirming it. So it's kind of like she ended up talking about it on like the Bravo after show and stuff like that. She basically confirmed what most women do. I was in pain by myself. She found out 4 days away from delivering. She found out 4 days before she delivered her baby. You niggas is trash. Ladies, have your own period. And yeah, so that's where the episode ended. But this review done got kind of long, y'all. I need to go. I ended up talking a lot more than I, it's something problem. I guess like when it is like when you lit low key, you be talking like way more. but you know, you be dragging shit out. So I apologize. This video was a little long, but thank you for sticking through with it. I'm watching Married at First Sight. I already know Lindsay's on some Karen and I can't handle it. And then I'll get into Real Housewives of Orange County. But yeah, you guys, I will see you guys later. Bye.